December 1950. A POW processing camp outside Seoul, South Korea. The war was brutal. Chinese and North Korean forces were pushing south. Thousands of enemy soldiers were being captured every week. General MacArthur was inspecting a POW facility. Standard procedure: check the prisoners, record names, classify units, routine. Rows of North Korean soldiers, Chinese troops, all being processed by American guards. Then MacArthur saw something that made him stop walking. A prisoner, not Korean, not Chinese, European, tall, blonde hair, blue eyes, wearing a North Korean uniform. MacArthur walked closer. The man was German. An American lieutenant approached. "Sir, we found something on him." The lieutenant held up a cloth bag. MacArthur opened it. Inside, metal, dozens of pieces of metal, dog tags, American dog tags. MacArthur poured them into his hand. They kept coming, more and more. He counted them. 70. 70 American dog tags. 70 names. 70 soldiers. 70 families back home who would never see their sons again. This German, fighting for North Korea, had collected them like trophies. MacArthur looked at the German's face. No shame, no regret. Just cold indifference. This is what MacArthur said. Before we continue, make sure you subscribe. We tell the stories of World War II and Korea, where evil met justice. To understand how a German ended up fighting for North Korea in 1950, you need to understand what happened after World War II. When Germany surrendered in 1945, millions of German soldiers became prisoners of war. Most went to American, British, or French camps. They were eventually released and sent home. But some German soldiers were captured by the Soviets. The Soviets treated German POWs differently. They sent them to labor camps in Siberia. Forced labor, brutal conditions. Many died, but some survived. And some of those survivors were given a choice: stay in the camps, or fight for the communist cause. Some said yes. They joined Soviet military units. They were trained, indoctrinated, turned into communist soldiers. When the Korean War started in 1950, the Soviet Union supported North Korea. They sent weapons, advisors, and some of these former German soldiers. The man MacArthur found was one of them. His name was Klaus Becker, 42 years old, former Wehrmacht officer, captured by Soviets in 1945, sent to Siberia. Survived 4 years of labor camps. In 1949, he was offered a deal: join a Soviet advisory unit being sent to North Korea, or stay in Siberia forever. He chose North Korea. By 1950, Becker was fighting American soldiers, the same army his former enemies were now part of, and he was collecting trophies. MacArthur ordered Becker isolated immediately. Separate cell, no contact with other prisoners. Then he called in his intelligence officers. "I want to know where he got every single dog tag. I want names matched to casualty reports. I want to know if he killed these men or just collected tags from bodies." The interrogation began. Becker was defiant at first. He refused to answer questions, sat in silence, stared at the walls. But American interrogators were patient. They brought in a translator, a German-American soldier who spoke perfect German. They showed Becker the dog tags, one by one. This one, Private William Chen, age 19, from California. "Where did you get his tag?" Becker said nothing. This one, Sergeant Robert Martinez, age 24, from Texas, married, 2 children. "Where did you get his tag?" Still nothing. The interrogators kept going, for hours, showing tags, reading names, asking questions. Finally, Becker spoke. "I took them from battlefields, from dead Americans. They were already dead when I found them." The translator asked, "All of them? All 70? Becker hesitated. "Most of them." "How many did you kill yourself?" Becker looked away. "I don't remember." The interrogators pressed harder, cross-referencing dates, locations, battle reports. What they found was disturbing. Out of the 70 dog tags, most came from soldiers killed in combat. Fair fight, soldier against soldier, but 23 came from different circumstances. 7 were from wounded soldiers, left behind during retreats, finished off rather than taken prisoner. 9 were from soldiers who surrendered, shot after they gave up their weapons. 5 were from medics, clearly marked with Red Cross armbands, killed while treating wounded. 2 were from a downed aircraft crew, parachuted safely, executed on the ground. Becker wasn't just a soldier, he was a war criminal. The interrogation report went to MacArthur's desk. MacArthur read it carefully. Then he made a decision. Prepare war crimes charges. I want him tried, publicly. I want every detail documented. His legal officer hesitated. Sir, he's German, not North Korean. Do we have jurisdiction? MacArthur's answer was sharp. He killed American soldiers while fighting for North Korea. That makes him our jurisdiction. File the charges. The trial took place in February, military tribunal. Seoul. The evidence was overwhelming. The 70 dog tags, witness statements from other prisoners who had seen Becker collect trophies, casualty reports matching names and dates. Becker's defense was simple. I was following orders. I was a soldier. This is what soldiers do in war. The prosecutor responded. Soldiers don't execute wounded men. Soldiers don't shoot medics. Soldiers don't murder prisoners after they surrender. The trial lasted 5 days. The tribunal found Becker guilty on 23 counts of war crimes, the 23 dog tags that came from illegal killings. The sentence, death by firing squad. But before the sentence was carried out, MacArthur did something important. He ordered every single dog tag cataloged, names recorded, families notified. Letters were sent to 70 American families. Each letter explained that their son's dog tag had been recovered, that the man who took it had been found, that justice was being served. Some families were grateful. Finally, they had answers. They knew what happened to their sons. Others were devastated, learning that their son had been murdered, not killed in combat, reopened wounds. One family, the Johnsons from Ohio, received their son's tag in March 9. Mrs. Johnson later gave an interview. We knew David was killed in Korea, the Army told us, but we didn't know how. We didn't know the details. She held the dog tag in her hand. When we got this back, when we read the letter explaining how it was found, we finally understood. He didn't die in battle. He was murdered, shot after he surrendered. She paused. But at least we know now. At least the man who did it faced justice. General MacArthur made sure of that. Klaus Becker was executed in April 1951. Firing squad. Seoul. His last words, according to records, were in German. Unrepentant. Still claiming he had only followed orders. The 70 dog tags were eventually returned to families who requested them. Others were placed in military archives. MacArthur never spoke publicly about the case, but his staff remembered. One officer later said, "The general could have just buried the story, kept it quiet, avoided the controversy of executing a German for crimes committed while fighting for North Korea. But he didn't. He insisted on a public trial. He insisted on justice, because he believed those 70 soldiers deserved more than being forgotten." The case set a precedent. Enemy soldiers, regardless of nationality, could be tried for war crimes committed against American forces. It sent a message. Collecting dog tags as trophies wasn't just disturbing. It was evidence of war crimes. Years later, military historians called the Becker case one of the most unusual war crimes trials of the Korean War. Not because of the crimes themselves. War has always had men who commit atrocities. But because MacArthur treated 70 pieces of metal as 70 individual human beings, each one deserving of justice, each family deserving of answers. That's what separated this case from others. MacArthur didn't see dog tags. He saw names, people, families, and he made sure every single one was honored. If you were MacArthur, would you have pursued war crimes charges against a foreign soldier fighting for the enemy? Or would you have let it go? Let us know in the comments. And if you want more stories about Korea and World War II where justice mattered, make sure to subscribe.